Somebody say, therefore. Therefore. This is why I like the New King James Version, because it says, therefore, I position men. I position men behind the lower parts of the wall at the openings, and I set the people according to their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. Topic for today is position men fighting for their families. Men have been out of position far too long. Men have abdicated their responsibilities in their homes for far too long. Men have stepped away from their families for far too long. And it's not just stepping away physically. You can step away from your family emotionally, spiritually. I know men who work hard at work, but have little to offer their families when they come home. I know men who pay more attention to their gardens than they do to their wives. Out of position. Over 70% of men in prison were raised without fathers. Young girls are more likely to become pregnant during their teens when they don't have a father in the home. Talking about men who are out of position and how it affects our society, how it affects our families, how it affects, watch out, how it affects our church. Don't you know that the church cannot function to its fullest capacity unless the men rise up into leadership and carry more of the burden? This one ain't going to give you no goose pimples. I'm just going to talk real talk. Jerusalem was in a fallen state. Nehemiah 2:17 says that Jerusalem lies in waste and the gates are burned with fire. It housed the temple of God, which was rebuilt by Ezra. The wall was reduced to rubble. And they had started to rebuild the wall, and they got it up to halfway its height. So you could say either the wall was half full or half fallen. Because halfway through the job, the people who before had a mind to work now had a mind to worry. Because they were listening to the reports of the enemies. They were listening to the people who were gathering outside and conspiring to come and to kill them. They took their minds off the task at hand. We're like that a lot of times. We get halfway through. We came this far by faith. But as soon as some opposition comes, we start to worry. And we start to murmur. And we start to complain. The children of Israel in the wilderness, they were halfway there. In fact, they were more than halfway. The Bible lets us know that their journey was only an 11-day journey. Yet they spent 40 years in the wilderness because they became weary. The Bible lets us know not to become weary in well-doing. For in due season, there was the enemy, Sanballat and Tobiah, and the Arabs and the Ashdodites. And if you look at them geographically, you would see that Samaria was to the north of Jerusalem. The Arabs were at the south. The Ashdodites were to the west. And the other were on the east. they were surrounded by the enemy. Sometimes it feels like the enemy is hitting us on every side. I mean, as soon as you fix one thing, here comes another thing. As soon as you get the car fixed, the air condition goes out. As soon as you get one kid to act right, the other ones start tripping. As soon as you got one employee satisfied, the other employee start tripping. He want a raise. So I got some employers in here that can roll with me on that. Nehemiah says, I put the men at the lower parts of the wall. The wall represented the foundation. The lower part of the wall was the foundation. He put the men at the foundation of the wall. The wall represented the protection. So when he put the men at the lower part of the wall, at the foundation, he started where God started. God started with the man. Nehemiah started with the men. He didn't go and put a whole bunch of ladies at the wall. Oh, I better turn around when I say this one. God created us equal, but not the same. Equal is not the same. A man has his purpose, and a woman has her purpose. And God has a divine order for how he does things. God only went to the earth once to create the man. Man came from the earth. The woman came from the man. It's so interesting because I had this quote, and Pastor Ross said it. He took it this morning. He said it. Matthew Henry said he didn't take the woman from his head because then she wanted to rule over him. He didn't take her from his feet because she wasn't meant to be trampled over. But he took her from his side, under his arm. The arm was protection. Close to his heart, because that would be his love. It was his side because they were supposed to walk together, Sister Judy. One without the other is incomplete. It is not good for a man to be alone. So he created a suitable helper, a helpmeet. But how can she help you meet something you're not doing? I believe that one of the worst travesties in the world is when a woman has a man that has no vision. A woman that has a man that has no goal, no aspiration. No woman in her right mind wants to follow a man that has no dream, that has no goal. She get up to go to work and you rolling over. I came to talk to you about positioned men.